In this video, we'll be writing a quadratic function given its zeros. Let's also recall that if c is a root, then x minus c is a factor. I'll remind you of something that we did in a previous video. If you factor into something like x minus 3 times x plus 4 equals 0, you would get what solutions? Let's see, x minus 3 equals 0, you add 3, and you get x is equal to 3. So remember, it's the opposite sign. So it was a minus 3 as a factor. It's a positive 3 as an actual root. Okay, and that's what this is saying here. They're always going to be different signs. This other one would be x is equal to negative 4 would be the root, but x plus 4 is the factor. Okay. Also, let's remember that zeros can also be called roots. They can be called solutions, and they can be called x-intercepts. Okay. All right, so with that said, let's try these problems. So the first one says, write a quadratic function with the following zeros. You do not have to multiply the quadratic out. Okay, I will anyways, but you don't have to on this. So if we have the zeros are -5 and -2, and that's all we know about it. So x equals 5, x equals -5, and x equals -2 are factors. That means that x, remember you change the sign when you write it into a factor, so put a minus there. But it's already minus, right? So let's put that -5 in there. And then it would be x minus, because of this, and also a -2 there, equals 0. Okay, so let's clean that up. A negative times a negative is positive on both of these. So it would be x plus 5 and x plus 2 equals 0. And if you wanted to know how this would work out, even though you don't have to, if you factor this all out, it would be x squared. The two middle terms, 5x and 2x, would give you 7x. And then the last term, 5 times 2 is 10. Okay, so that's what it would be if you wanted to multiply it out. Okay, let's look at the next one. So our only zero here is 10. Okay, so if it's a quadratic function and the only zero is 10, that means it had to happen twice, right? Because it is a quadratic function, else it would be linear. So if our only zero is 10, then we have x minus 10 times x minus 10 equals 0. That would be your solution. You could also write it as x minus 10 squared equals 0. Okay, and if you wanted to write that out and multiply that, which you don't have to, but if you wanted to, it would be x squared minus 20x plus 100 equals 0. Okay, let's look at the next one. So our zeros are -13 and 3. So it would be x minus a -13 and then x minus 3. Okay, let's clean that first one up with a double negative there. So that will be x plus 13 and x minus 3. And that problem is complete. But if you did want to multiply it out, it would be x squared. And then it would be 10x. And then that last one would be -30 minus 39 equals 0. Okay, one more. The zeros are 7 and 0. So that would mean x minus 7 and x minus 0. I know that x minus 0 doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You do need to clean that up. So instead of just writing x minus 0, that's just x. We'll stick it out front. So it'll be x times x minus 7 equals 0. That's how you would write that. If it doesn't have a number, you typically put this one that doesn't have a number with it out front by itself. And then all the stuff that does have numbers with it, you put it inside there. Okay, so this is done, but let's multiply it through just in case you want to see it. So x squared and then minus 7x equals 0. That would be your factored out solution.